What's up, everybody? Q getting a little extra fancy with the intros, but it's all good. So tonight it's happy hour with Hendrix. Um, Want to make sure of a couple of things. Number one, I know after that fiasco last night, a couple of things in the news lately, coronavirus, police brutality, that so-called presidential debate. I just want to check on everybody. I want to make sure everyone is okay. Um, and if you're not okay, that's fine too. Um, you're not okay, please make sure to get you some help from somewhere. You can reach out if you have a job. Go to your EAP, go to HR, go to your EAP program. It's your employee assistance program. Every job has one. Um, if you don't have access to EAP, make sure you find some type of way to get help, please. The holidays are coming up. The last thing I want anybody's family to do is having to suffer with additional losses that don't have to occur. So, if you're not mentally okay, if you're not physically okay, if you're not spiritually okay, please seek help before you take things into your own hands and do something that you can't come back from, right? So I don't want to see that for anybody. I don't want anybody to have to experience that. I don't want any families to have to experience that. So tonight we gonna keep it kind of light. Um, I'm gonna do as best as I can to keep it light as possible, right? So tonight with the music, um, just gonna be easy. But I want to start off with making sure everybody answers the question: are you really okay? But I'm gonna do it my way. I'm gonna do it Hendrix way. So here we go. Michael Jackson, "Smooth Criminal." All right, gonna jump this off in just a second, but let's get this on real quick. All right, I thought it was gonna play. There we go. Sorry, I'm a little slow. Now, gonna stop it right there. A smooth criminal. Yeah, with everything that's been going on lately, definitely in the presence of a smooth criminal. Smoother than some, smoother to some than others, but nonetheless, he's a gold tongue shyster. But what I need everybody to remember is that at the end of the day, you control what's in your power, right? You cannot control what's not in your control, what's not in your power. You can't control that. But what you can control is what's in your power and what you have control of. So make sure you take care of those things that are precious and near and dear to you. And this isn't just, you know, objects. These are, I'm including people, family, all that. So make sure you take care of your friends and your family, right? So make sure everybody's staying healthy, both mentally and physically. Um, because what's going to happen, like it always does, people can only get away with the BS for so long, right? At some point, it's all gonna come out in the wash, and some people are gonna be like, "See, I told you." Other people are gonna be like, "Oh no, I don't believe it." And then you're gonna have some people that are just gonna be like, oh, "I'm so shocked and appalled." But what you can do is a couple of things. What you can control is if you're registered to vote. So today is September 30th. Early voting has started in several states. Here in the Lone Star State, the last day to register to vote is October 5th. So you got ample time. Actually, you can go online. We've been telling y'all this for years. Since we've been doing the show, we've been pushing um, everyone get registered to vote. So you can do it online, whether it doesn't matter what state you're in. You go online and find out where to vote, what's on the ballot, who's on the ballot. Um, these things you can't control. Now, I understand there's some people out there that feel like, no, why should I vote? It doesn't matter, right? I get that feeling. I know where everybody's coming with that, where they're coming from with that, I should say. But nonetheless, you need to get out and exercise your right to vote. If voting wasn't so critical, why would people put hurdles to voting? Think about that. If voting meant nothing, why would there be hurdles in place to vote? Like voter ID. Number one, you know, number two, why should you even have to register to vote? If you're a citizen, you have an ID, you should be allowed to vote. Now, I understand in some places, if you have a criminal record, there's nuances to it. I get that. But let's say you had no criminal record, you're just your average citizen. Why aren't you automatically registered to vote when you get your first ID? You know, they make it real easy. Even when you go get IDs, you can check little box. Hey, I want to be registered to vote. Check. I want to be an organ donor. Real easy. But if you haven't done that, go ahead and make sure you register to vote. Because, like I said, after last night, um, it's become very, very clear that this country is at a crossroads, right? And with that being said, I want to make sure that everybody is okay. And that's why, I live. Are you really okay? Um, Now I don't want to go too deep into it because got a limited amount of time. But before we hop into that, we hop into some more serious things. I want to know, like I always, every week I ask y'all, what y'all drinking on, what you smoking on, what you sipping on. Holla at your boy. Let me know what you got rocking tonight. Because I got me a little some what is this? Mango peach juice, mango and peach. It's a wonderful thing. Mango and peach. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And as always, I got my CBD. Mm. Tell me what y'all sipping on out there. Um, but real quick, just to talk about some things. Everybody has their own world that they're they're around. Peach tea with a shot of peach vodka. Q, that sounds like a winner. Peach tea with a shot of peach vodka. I can work with that. Everybody has their own hood. Everybody has the area that they grew up in, and everybody has a different perspective. Your neighborhood that you grew up in always helps you in the way that you see the world. Um, that's just what it is. Your perspective on the world comes from your environment, and your environment, a lot of the times when you're young, isn't decided by you, right? That's decided by your parents, and that can be a good thing or a bad thing. Um, so, with that being said, one of the things we have to always remember is no matter what we do in life, we have to stay true to our roots. That doesn't mean, you know, oh, you always have to be in the hood. That doesn't mean that you always have to be, living in the same environment that you grew up in. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is when I say stay true to your hood, stay true to your roots, I'm talking about stay true to who you are. Don't lose your soul trying to gain a dollar or gain some kind of title or something like that. It's not worth it. You work hard and grind, those things will come to you. You know, no, me and Q have mentioned several times through the course of the show that we were in high school and we were told by teachers that most of us wouldn't live to see 21. And when you're a 16, 17-year-old black kid in a predominantly black school, that didn't sit right with me. These are supposed to be the people that we're looking up to. These are supposed to be the people that are guiding us in life. And when they look at you and say, hey, you're not going to be anything, that never did sit right with me. And I'm happy to say that most of the guys that I graduated with, we're doing very well for ourselves. Is everybody, top ranks? No, but everybody's living pretty comfortably. Now, I've seen some of my friends that grew up in single parent households, and now they become great mothers and fathers. I mean, I'm loving it. I've seen people come from the hood and change their outlook, but then they're still true to who they are. So with that being said, like I said, my music is always a theme, and it always kind of puts the point home. So with that being said, Young Jeezy, my hood, get into this real quick. And I want to know, what hood you from? Where you from? Let me know, people. Talk to me. Because I know we got some people from Oak Cliff out there. Keep the post. My LT players. It's understood that I do it for love. Time I do what I do it for my good. Time I do what I do it for your good. Time I do what I do it for they. It's all good, still reaching with my words and make them feel good like the first and the third. Take back when I was 16, with a bankroll, posted on the corner like a light pole. They used to call us track stars before they even stopped and ran to the car. Everybody on the block got the same shit. Hustle from January to the end of December. What the? It was more like Bobby Brown on that hen dog straight, got it drinking brown. Tell them that ten or four, shake them up, talk. If I drink and let them know. Even when I'm on the road, I can't to stay in touch. Well, I think they love me so much. Every time I do what I do it for mine. Every time I do what I do it for you. Every time I do what I do it for them. It's understood. I do it for love. Every time I do what I do it for mine. Every time I do what I do it for you. Every time I do what I do it for them. It's understood. I do it for love. Now, The reason I picked that song, right? Jesus was talking about how back in the day he was slanging drugs. He said specifically, if I still had it on me, I'd punch your sack. But he switched up, changed up, grew up, and started doing different things. However, he stayed true to his hood, which is why he can go back. You look at people like Jeezy, you look at people like Scarface, Too Short. These are guys that can walk the hood, no security, nothing, be good. You got like Slim Thug, Paul Wall. They could walk through the hood, no problem, because they stayed true to their roots. It doesn't mean they didn't grow and evolve, but that means that they didn't forget where they came from, and they didn't forget the people that helped them get there. That don't mean you handing out meal tickets to everybody. What I'm saying is each one teach one, right? So he learned, okay, hey, selling drugs ain't the way to go. I got a knack for making music. Let me switch up. Let me get on this music thing, flip my money, make clean money, and then I'm gonna show other people how to do it, right? You got people out there, and I'm using the music industry because it's real easy, and these are names that a lot of people will know. You got dudes like Akon, right? Akon, Akon comes from Senegal in Africa, right? Poor country. But he figured out, hey, I'm good with music. He took it, flipped it, discovered Lady Gaga, did a couple albums. He retired. This dude is doing more work now that he's retired from the music industry than he did when, you know, he was coming up. But it's all good though. So what I'm saying is, people, think about this. Just because you in a bad environment doesn't mean you can't come out of it. Doesn't mean that you can't evolve from it. But at the same time, you need to take those lessons you learn from the hood and apply them to the business room. Apply them to corporate America and watch how successful you'll be. Because there's some things that you can't learn in the classroom that you learn on the streets that, that knowledge is invaluable. So take it and use it and flip it and use it to your advantage. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I walk into a new job and people don't know what to expect from me, right? They figure, oh, they look at the resume and they figure, oh, he's this, that, and the other. Okay, yeah, I can get down in the classroom. I was good there, but I learned some things in the hood that helped me understand that everybody's not your friend. And just because they look like you, don't mean they down for you, right? Just because somebody looks like you, people that look like you can be your biggest enemy, your biggest haters. But you have to learn how to decipher that. Don't take a lot. Just sit back and watch how people move. You can really understand a lot about somebody by the way they move. And I'm always suspicious of people that don't have friendships over 10, 15 years. You should say, oh, this is my best friend, and I've only known him for like 3, 4 years. I'm not saying that can't happen. But if all your friends, especially at the age I'm at, you don't have any friends where you've known double-digit years, probably ain't gonna fool with you too much. Sorry, because that means you probably move kind of shady, kind of move a little slimy. I don't need that in my life. Now, you take that same information, you flip it, right, and apply it to corporate America. You look at a person that maybe has been at the company maybe 3, 4 years. Sit down, talk to them, see where their head has been, see where see how they've been moving. And if they've been moving around through a whole bunch of jobs, or they always got a lot of drama going on around them the people to stay away from and keep your eye on, right? That don't mean you can't be cordial. That don't mean you can't say, hey, how you doing? Or even work on a couple projects together. Just watch them. Watch your back and move with caution, right? So you can take these same lessons, like I said, same lessons you learn in the hood, apply them to the boardroom. What I also figured out is when you're in corporate America and you have people that it's never their fault, right? These are people that always finger point. They never own their mistakes. Perfect example, I put myself out there. I made a mistake at work. Huge mistake, really. Back in the day, I was working for Gatorade. I was doing an investigation. Somebody made a bogus complaint, and what happened was I was going to check it out. We had some retained samples. I was going to go look at them. I knocked over a whole row of product, and we're talking about 10 pallets of Gatorade that I knocked over. That's a lot of mess to clean up, right? A lot of mess. I went, told the safety department, got spill kits. I didn't run from it. I was the first one and the last one there cleaning up. I had other people come and help, but I was the one that made sure. I was the first one there and the last one to leave. I made sure everything was put back like it was. Why? Because I have pride in what I do. Right? I didn't have to. Oh no, don't worry about that. We'll get somebody else to clean it up. Nope. My mistake. I did it. I'm gonna fix it. Even if I don't do it all, I'm gonna be here till the end. Right? That's integrity. See, this is one of the things that you can't teach somebody, right? You can't teach this in a classroom. You have to have it in you. You have to have that drive and desire to be the best. And sometimes being the best means doing the job that nobody wants to do. I had a janitor that worked for me at another company. He reported directly to me. People gave him the blues. But one thing I told him was that, every time we have a visitor, every time somebody that has not been here walks into this facility, the first thing that they see is the work that you do as the janitor, custodian, whatever you want to call it. Because if the facility, when you walk in, is not clean, they're going to have a bad vibe about their whole visit. So I told him he had the most important job at the facility because his work was the first impression that people got, right? So if you look at an org chart, he may be way down on the bottom of the org chart. You had a CEO, president, and stuff up here. You have all your VPs, your managers, supervisors, leads, assistant leads, your hourly workers. Most people put that custodian down at the bottom. Not me. He had the most important job because as soon as somebody walked into the facility, it was his job on display. People used to leave candy wrappers and trash and all that stuff all over the place. I told him, you see somebody doing it, you catch them doing it, let me know. Trust me, it only happened once where you caught the person doing it. I lit into their ass, top to bottom. It didn't happen again. So this is where, to me, I proved myself as a leader to him because I provided him a service. I had his back. And that's what true leaders do. True leaders serve the ones that they are leading. The ones that they are leading, they make them better. They provide them with the tools that they need to do their job. And what happens is when you do this, no matter what you do, no matter where you go, you keep that same mindset, that means you'll always be welcomed in your hood, right? Always. There's nothing you can do if you keep that same mindset, keep your integrity, and when you go back to your hood, you'll be welcome. So, with that being said, Here go BG. Hood to Hollywood. My hood. It feels good. Mm. It feels good. Oh my goodness. I guess that was the end of the song. I guess I had to start it over. That's okay. It's all good. These technical difficulties happen. Yeah. That's what I ride with that thing for. It's going down if they run up on it. It's going down if they test it. They go down. Every ghetto in New Orleans and I just scream a lot and I just tell a lot. When I was young, I hate trains. I want to fly. When I was young, yeah, my mama used to fuss a lot. But now she cry because her son is dead. I still get love. It's still but they can't come. I'm still still get love. It's still yeah, so that BG, my hood. Now, again, you listen to the music I play. There's always a message in the music, right? BG was talking about when he was younger, he wasn't doing everything he was supposed to do. But now, he changed up, but he kept true to himself, true to his roots, and now he can still go back in the hood. And his mom proud of him. I tell you right now, me and my mom used to get into it a lot, especially when I was like 16, 17, 18. Actually, we don't get into it as much today, but then I was trying to make moves, but I realized something as I got older. I was trying to move too fast, right? I saw what I wanted and I saw opportunity to get it. And sometimes I was moving too fast, trying to get there because I wanted it. I wanted it bad. But what happened was those lessons and those arguments ended up turning into life lessons because I could still hear her in my ear. You moving too fast. You didn't think it all the way through. There's more to it than what you see. There's more to it than, just going out and achieving your goal. And this is what I tell people. You can have a goal, and that's great. But sometimes the biggest lessons learned are on the journey to achieve that goal. Don't get so wrapped up in your goal that you forget everything else and you lose yourself. Because losing yourself trying to achieve something, you really lost more than you gained, right? So, you know, I like to think of myself as pretty much the same guy I was back in high school. Not too much has changed about me. I gained some weight. Um, got a little gray hair. Hell, I lost my hair, but it's all good. What I'm saying is, achieve your goal, but don't lose yourself in doing that. So you may want to be the next president of the United States. Don't end up losing yourself trying to get there. Don't sell your soul to achieve a goal. It's not worth it, right? Because in due time and when it's your time, the opportunity will present itself in such a way that it's undeniable, right? Yeah. 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 Grady used to say if you move it too fast, you're gonna always forget something. You ain't never lying, Q. Sometimes it's good to sit back and just see what you've accomplished. Now, a lot of people don't know is like when I was 28 or so, I was grinding hard. I was working for PepsiCo. I was on the road like 3 weeks out of the month. I was grinding. I was getting it because I had a goal in mind. I wanted to, I said before I'm 30, I want to be making six figures, right? Before I'm 30, I want to make six figures. Now, granted, I achieved that goal, but in the process, I wasn't taking care of myself. On my 30th birthday, I sneezed. Well, a couple weeks before my 30th birthday, I sneezed and had a back spasm. Spent my 30th birthday on my back. Not a good feeling. Did I achieve my goal? Yeah. Did I achieve it the best way possible? Nope, I didn't. What I learned was, yeah, I reached that goal, but I gave up my health. I lost my health to do it. And thank goodness I was young because I had time to rebound, right? Had that rebound. But as I got older, I started realizing, you could make plenty of money, but if you losing yourself, again, y'all, it's not worth it. And I say all this to say that sometimes we get lost because we don't have good representation, right? We only around and we only know what we're around. And so this is why it's good to, especially if you're parents, make sure you're exposing your children to different things outside of their neighborhood. Make sure you're exposing them to the world because this exposure is only going to help them. Before I was in high school, I had been coast to coast, right? Family vacations in the summertime. I didn't have all the best clothes, all the best shoes, but every summer we took a vacation trip. And even now, as adults, well, outside of this year, we try to do that as a family. We get together and we go somewhere. But one thing I've also realized is that no matter where you go, no matter where you are, there's always a ghetto, right? And honestly, the world is a ghetto because no matter where you are in the world, there's poor. There is, people in power taking advantage of those without. There's mistreatment of those people that are actually the front line and the core of the society, but people don't value them. So the most important asset in any corporation is the people, right? The people are the most important asset because without the people, you can't get anywhere. You can't do anything. Without people that actually do the jobs and do the work, you can have all the great ideas you want, but it's not gonna go anywhere. So with that being said, here go the Ghetto Boy. The world is a ghetto. I want y'all to listen to these lyrics, right? Check out the lyrics. Every day. Where I stay.
Let's take the journey to the other side, where many people learn to live with their handicaps while the others die. Where motherfuckers had no money spots, and if they did, then they asked when it's saved when all the money's tied. I'm from the ghetto, so I'm used to that. I'm from the motherfucking map and find Texas and see where you should live. It's on the borderline of hard time. And it's selling that you hear niggas breaking and giving hard time. That's why I ask my mind to pray. Because I I know that even I got to die, and he got a date for me. And every morning I wake up, I'm kind of glad to be alive. Cause thousands of my homeboys died, and very few died of old age. In most cases, the incident covered up the whole thing. From Amsterdam to Amarillo, it ain't no secret. The world is a gift. Niggas died in guerrilla warfare in a village in Africa, but did nobody care? They just called up the goddamn grave digger and said, "Come get these motherfucking niggas," just like they do in the Fifth Ward, in the South Park, in the Bronx, in the Watts. You know they got cookie cops working for the system, making poor motherfuckers out of victims. Cause don't nobody give a fuck about the poor. It's double jeopardy if you're black or Latino. They got their motherfucking drugs in the slums, got us killing one another over crumbs. Think I'm lying? Well, motherfucker, I got proof. Name a section in your city where minorities grew. And I'ma show you prostitutes, dope, and hard times. And a murder rate that never declines. And little babies sitting on the porch smelling smelly, crying cause they ain't got food in their bellies. They call my neighborhood a jungle, and me an animal, like they do the people of Rwanda. Sports in their countries to come here black, but see the same bullshit and hate right back. They find out what niggas already know. What's up out of town, southern nigga down? I wish you would bring your motherfucking ass around here with that dip shit from your block. You fuck around and get shit home to your mama in a fine box. If you don't play that shit in here, boy, we got killers and hustlers and players too, so niggas disregard what you seeing on the western roof. The show ain't never rode a horse before. Make me float, smash the gas, and watch how fast I put these hands on your bitch ass. Try to load them dice, you meet the great niggas. This game recognized game shiesty ass niggas. Now that seeing food not for less than a goddamn cigarette butt for fucking with my set. So get that frown off your face, trust me, cause your ghetto ain't no harder than mine. What the fuck?
Again, the reason I picked that song, right? Listen to the words. We'll start at the end, right? Face was talking about his hood, things that go on in the hood, things that we've all probably been witness to if you grew up in the hood. But if you step back just a second, go to Bushwick Bill, it's easy to point to the symptoms of the problem, right? It's easy to say, oh, they got drug dealers, they got, drug addicts, they got homeless, they got people that don't take care of their kids. But what's the source of this? The source is that they're poor. Usually poor people have less education. You take education and you take leadership out of a home, you're going to have a get up. Don't matter how much the home costs, right? No matter how much the home costs, you don't have leadership in that household, you got drugs and lack of education, you're going to have a get up real quick. Now, what's the source of this? Because again, it's easy to point to the symptoms, right? It's easy to point. Then you say, okay, well, drugs are the system. Well, get rid of the drug dealers. That's only part of the problem. Because where the drug dealers getting their drugs from? Because last time I checked, nobody that looks like me is bringing in the majority of the drugs in this country. I'm just saying. Then people say, oh, well, you got people killing each other. Well, let's look at the facts. You look at murder rates and crime in general in this country, 85 to 90% of it is a crime of opportunity. What do I mean by that? That means that most crimes are created or most crimes are done within the vicinity of the person that is committing the crime, you're usually within a 15, 20-mile radius of their home. Crime of opportunity, right? You're going to be around those that usually look like you. So this term black on black crime, a bunch of bullshit. Let's just call it what it is. Because most of the crime committed in this country, not committed by people that look like me. These are facts. However, it's easy to put a spin on it and twist it so you can have increased police enforcing going on in minority neighborhoods where there are also a lot of poor people, because then it makes the people at the top in power, it makes them look good. We got X number of arrests. We busted this many drug dealers, but the drugs still flowing. You can bust all the drug dealers you want, but until you get to the source of it, you ain't gonna do nothing. Just the hat again. Yeah, Shimmy, I decided to wear my hat, right? Um, and so when you look at it like that, um, you you start to really see what the real cause of the issue is, right? And again, engineering mindset, problem solving, put my engineering hat on, and I think of the cause of a problem, right? You ask yourself, why did something happen? You ask yourself one time, why? Well, why are there drug dealers or why are there drug addicts in the neighborhood? Well, because there's drug dealers supplying them with the drugs. You think that's it? Oh, it's a drug dealer. No, 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 no. Why are the drug dealers supplying them with drugs? Number one, it's easy money, easy, quick, and a lot of money. Number two, they have to have a supply of drugs to get that quick and easy money. So again, okay, well, if we cut out the supply, then we can cut out the drug dealers and we can cut out the drug addicts, right? Well, where are they getting the drugs from? Uh-huh. And then not only where are they getting the drugs from, but why are those people allowed to bring the drugs into the country? Uh-huh. Then you ask yourself, well, if all this is going on, well, why? I'm gonna take it back to the 80s, just to let y'all know how long this has been going on. Go look into the Iran-Contra agreement, right? That whole situation. Several plane loads of cocaine were allowed to enter the U.S. in exchange for drugs. I mean, guns going to Nicaragua. I've always had a hard time saying that. But you go look at the facts of that. Drugs were allowed to enter this country by the FBI and the president at the time to help get guns to Nicaragua, because Congress said, oh, we can't give them money. So how did they pay for the guns? There was no money exchanging of hands. Drugs were flown in, guns went out. And on several occasions, these drug planes were actually stopped because the custom system worked and they were allowed to go through. Why did that happen? Now you start to get to the real root cause of the problem. See, nobody ever looks at it like that. Again, I have to, have to switch it up sometimes and put my engineer hat on and get to the root causes of these things, right? So if you get to the point where you can't answer why, usually that is usually your root cause. And if it's not your root cause, it's one of the causes. Because what you have to understand about solving problems is that there's rarely one answer. There's usually multiple answers that leads to the symptoms that you see in your face. So when people talk about, oh, drug dealers, gang bangers, all this stuff, it's a symptom, not really the root cause. But what happens is if you dig into that real root cause, a lot of people in power got to look in the mirror and they scared to do that. And see, this is what I was talking about earlier. When you get to a certain level and you can't look yourself in the mirror and be proud of the person you see, you lost your soul to gain a certain level. And whatever it is, whether it's money, power, respect, you lose yourself trying to get there, it ain't worth it. You might enjoy it for a little while, but then it ain't worth it. So uh, I'm gonna get up out of here. I ain't gonna preach too long, as Q say. But I just want people to start thinking about when we look at problem solving, go beyond that first answer, right? Always try to go beyond. Ask yourself why at least 5 times before you start pointing fingers. Because what you might find is your lifestyle and what you're doing is actually contributing to the issue. So I was thinking of a song, trying to figure it out, but I don't know. I can't really find it right now. Um, but I'm gonna say this. You know, I'm really at this point where we have to figure out a couple of things, right? We got to figure out what we're gonna do to make sure that our family and friends are okay. And if you really want to make sure your family and friends are okay, don't start with hate. Don't. You gotta start with love. And I know a lot of people is tired of giving love and turning the other cheek. Trust me, I feel you. But if the person standing in front of you didn't do anything to you, gotta give them a chance. Gotta give them a chance. Now, if it's a person standing in front of you that has done you wrong, slap the shit out of them by all means. However, you have to give people a chance because even though certain people say, "Oh, you fit the description," you know how many times I've been pulled over because I fit the description? Black man in a car. Like, what is that? So I'm gonna end it with this. And I'm gonna get up out of here, but I just want y'all to really think about what you do and how it affects everybody around you because it's easy to say, "Oh, this ain't my problem. This isn't, this don't affect me," because you take one group of people. Now I'm gonna show you how this works. You take one group of people that everybody's been hearing a lot from lately. These what do they call them? Order and empower people, or they want order and power and law enforcement and all that. I can't remember what they call themselves, but them same people are the ones that usually, when that law and order applies to them, they always say, "Oh, the government overreaching." See, it's not a problem long as it don't impact you. And that's what we have to get out of the mindset of. Well, if it don't impact me directly, does it impact anybody around me in any kind of way? And if it does, start paying attention, people. Start paying attention to what's going on around you, right? You gotta pay attention to what's going around you. Because I just I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do. I wish I had answers, but I can tell you this: the presidency is only a start. You have to deal with those politicians and those local leaders in your area first. So if you hadn't been registered to vote and this is going to be your first time voting, go ahead and do that. Again, early voting starts here in Texas, I believe October the 13th, but you have until October the 5th to get registered. So if you're not registered, go ahead and register. But when you register to vote, also make sure you're actually exercising your right on a regular basis. Participate. I know it's a pain in the butt. It's not fun, you know. However, it usually only takes you a couple of minutes. It usually don't take that long. Once you get in the polling booth, it usually takes you about maybe 5-10 minutes, if that. Don't take long. So make sure you're exercising your right to vote. And make sure that you start paying attention to the world outside of your comfort zone. If somebody's in a situation you want to help, don't judge. Ask them why. Try and find out why, right? So, with that being said, I'm gonna put it on you like this. I'm gonna hit you with an old school, right? Real old school. But you may not be ready for it. Some of y'all may think it's one thing or something else, but um, I'm gonna just put it on you. Here we go. Uh-oh.
And then this.
Well, I guess it wasn't time for it to start yet. I guess got a little delay. I was trying to get it there, but give me a second. Here we go. Now, I picked that song for a reason, right? Because again, people hear what they want to hear from music. They'll get caught up on the hook, but they fail to listen to the actual lyrics of the song. When you listen to the lyrics of the song, Fight the Power, it's about informing yourself and doing what you can to change the community around you. Talk about fighting the power. Fight doesn't always equal violence, right? That means you're working towards making life better. That's what they were saying. But it'll be lost on somebody because they'll only hear the hook. So again, I listen to music, I just don't hear it, right? You have to go back and listen to it. That's why I don't play the whole song. Because if it sparks something, go back and listen to it. Because I always tell you I'm playing. They're Public Enemy, Fight the Power. I always tell you who I'm playing for a specific reason. So you go back, actually listen. I don't like rap music. I like lyricists that have great beats under their lyrics because they're actually talking about something. Again, we've talked about this before. The definition of rap is an acronym. Might want to go look it up so you can truly understand the difference between rap and hip hop. And with that, y'all, I'm gonna get up out of here. I hope y'all have enjoyed yourself. I hope, if I didn't bring you all the happiness and stuff, cool. But at least I hope I gave you something to think about, right? Because that's my whole thing. I like to give you something to think about, like to put something on your mind. So get the wheels to turn. I may not be the person that changes the world, but maybe one day I'll be the spark that does. I'll be the spark in that brain that does change the world. And that's all I'm looking for, right? I want to be that spark that might help change the world or trigger somebody to have a thought or a feeling or an idea that will help change the world. I'll do the best that I can, but I seriously doubt if my actions alone will do it. It's going to take all of us working together, good, bad, or indifferent, to get there. But seeing other people gain doesn't mean that you lose. There's enough out here for everybody. But if you get so selfish and think, well, if they come up and they win, then I'm going to lose. It doesn't work like that. It's not a definitive pie. There's only so much to cut up and share. No, there's different ways to move. And just because you may say, hey, I can help in this section, don't knock somebody else because they're trying to help out in another section. If you're moving towards the same goal, work together. Tip of the hat and say, hey, do you over there? That's cool, but I'm going to roll over here. This is where Martin Luther King and Malcolm X varied. And it was too late when they both realized that, hey, we can actually work together and become even more powerful because each one of them had a way of doing things. But once they realized that they were headed towards the same goal, they both got killed by the government, by the US government, to be specific. So go out there, it's middle of the week, finish the week up strong. And with that being said, I'm going to holler at y'all. Peace.